Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Computer America Show, a live video stream, a little behind-the-scenes peek before we start the show in about 3 minutes. We have a terrific show for you tonight. In the first hour, we're going to have Mike Riley here with us. He is the author of Build an Awesome PC, 2014 edition. And also in hour two, Dick DeBartolo, the Giz Wiz, Mad Magazine's maddest writer, with all kinds of cool technology items that he finds. So we'll get ready to start. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We'll be starting in about 2 minutes. Oops. You're welcome to join us in the chat room if you want to. By the way, Mike, it's up to you.
Oh, where's the chat?
You have to go to the.
2 minutes until showtime.
Go to the Computer America website, and it's right under the first pull-down menu. It says right there under the first one. It's the third selection, chat room and live video. Don't start the live video because then we'll get a bad echo because you're actually in the video right now. But go to the chat room and enter. And if you go in there, I'll green you. I'll make your avatar green, signifying you're the guest. Just go in as Mike Riley.
Okay. Chat room.
I assume you have Java installed on your computer.
Yep.
Because you'll need it.
Activate Java applet. Wow. Okay, so is there a password required?
No, don't need the password. You don't need the password. It's optional. Don't need it.
Okay. Signing in as Mike Riley.
Yeah. All right. There, you're already greened.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes, here we go. All right, stand by.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Grossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host,
Craig Grossman. And I'm your co-host, Ben.
Ben, you're back.
I am back.
Yes. And we've got a new schedule coming up in the next couple of weeks. I know, Ben, you're going to be with us. I think, Charles is going to be back Friday, and then for the next 2 weeks, you're going to be co-hosting, and then the schedule is going to kind of settle down. My understanding is that you will be co-hosting with me every Monday and Tuesday, and Charles will be here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as we move forward into the month of July.
I don't follow it either, so.
Okay. Which is good, too, because Tuesday, that's when we have our Gamer Tuesday, and I know that's one of your favorites, so with Grayson Hamilton. So I think it's going to work out. It's going to be a nice schedule, balanced, and not all of you will be too overworked, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah.
So I guess people will be seeing more of me, which is never a good thing.
Well, or you can just stand up and they'll see more of you.
And no one wants to see that, so just more of me on the show. Let's keep it simple.
Now, coming up in hour two, it's the last Wednesday of the month, and that means Dick DeBartolo The Giz Wiz, Mad Magazine's maddest writer, will be here on the second hour, and you can follow along. Let me just tell you how you can do all this. Here's what you want to do. We're going to be talking to our first guest, Mike Riley. He is the author of the book Build an Awesome PC, 2014 edition. We'll bring him on in a moment. But here's, if you have any questions about building an awesome PC or anything, any questions you might have for any of us, you can give us a call at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. We also have email set up when we're live and on the air. It is live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. You can also join us in our live interactive add-on chat room from our homepage at computeramerica.com. You'll see under the first pull-down menu, you'll see chat room /video, or you can, there's even a button there that says chat room /video, and just select that. And for a username, that's the name you'll be known by when you go in there. You don't need a password, even though it asks you for it, you don't need it. Just click the sign-in button in your Java-enabled browser on a Windows machine, Mac, Linux, they all work. We'll move you into the Computer America chat room. You can also, on that very same page, join us in our live Computer America video streaming, because our live Computer America video streaming page is on that same page. It shares the chat room page, and that's brought to you by Other World Computing. Quality products, expert support since 1988, now celebrating their 25th anniversary. Please visit them at their website at www.macsales.com for all the great bargains. They have, I mean, if you're thinking about a solid-state drive, an SSD, they've got them down there for like $94. $94 for a solid-state drive, and that includes free shipping. By the way, it's a 120 gigabyte solid-state drive for $95. $20 more, you get the external case if you want. $49. Anything over that, you get free shipping. Good for free shipping on ground shipping, and that covers like about 80% of the country. You get into less than about 2 days, so it's really immediate. Expert support. They have videos, how-to videos. It's all there on the OWC website. So check them out, please. Again, www.macsales.com. So anything else you want to mention before we get started, Ben?
No, I think I'm good. I've been looking for the past 20 minutes for how to find out what my motherboard is. I can't find it, so...
Maybe your guest tonight will be able to help you.
Hopefully.
Look, have you ever dreamt of building your own awesome PC? Well, with the help of author Mike Riley in his book, now you can. I mean, custom build your own dream PC, have fun doing it, that's key, by the way, and save yourself a boatload of money in the process. Build an Awesome PC 2014 edition will give you the confidence to buy the best-of-class components and assemble them with clear, step-by-step instructions. You'll build your own PC capable of effortlessly running the most graphic and CPU-intensive games, graphics software, and programming compilers available today. And because it's a PC that you built yourself, you'll be able to keep it up to date with the latest hardware innovations. Mike, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Great. Thank you for having me today.
Yes, I've been looking forward to the show tonight. I've got the book here, and if you're watching, as you can see, here it is, Build an Awesome PC. I got mine, but he didn't autograph it. He autographed mine, but
no, but he did build it himself.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And it's interesting because I read the foreword, and you from what I understand, it said in the acknowledgments, it says you thank your son in here, Mitchell, for helping you, for giving an enthusiastic thumbs up after stress testing the final PC built with his selection of the most cutting edge and graphically demanding games today. So I take it, like Ben, your son's really into games.
He was born with a joystick in his hand.
Okay.
A brethren, I like that.
And I think truly, games really are what really push computer technology to its limits. I mean, how much power do you need when you're running a word processor? I mean, come on, let's face it, you don't need that much. But games are one of the main categories. I mean, there's video rendering software, the things like that. But in the mainstream, I think computer games really will test how awesome and how fast your computer is. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. In fact, it's the games that have really driven the whole computer entertainment industry. You think about even the latest next generation game consoles like the Xbox One and the Sony PlayStation 4. Literally, these are PCs that have been purpose-built to play games.
Yeah, exactly. And I know Ben is an Xbox enthusiast as well. But the games on PCs they are still, I think, rule, right? They're still some of the fastest, bestest games out there.
Absolutely. The whole PC gaming enthusiast market they pride themselves in having the absolute best experience amongst any other platform. So it could be the same game, but it has if it's a game that's going to truly be optimized for the PC gaming enthusiast, it's going to be the best looking, the best playing, the best overall experience, bar none, across any platform that's available today.
Okay, now let's delve into this. I mean, when you go to a store, you go to a Best Buy, or you go to one of these large technology stores, and you look at the computers, you primarily see laptops, and you also see a lot of all-in-ones, where everything is, there's no box. In other words, the screen is the computer itself, or is it in a laptop? And that seems to be, how should I say it, the most popular for people who just want to get into computing. And it seems to me that over the years, the box computer, which is sitting on the floor, then the screen's plugged in.
I think you mean like a tower.
Yeah, the tower, exactly. The tower computer has how should I say, but gone out of favor. So why is building your own PC growing or coming back in popularity? Why do you think that's happening?
Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. First off, I think the main driver these days is because of the fact that these pre-built, pre-assembled PCs, while they're very convenient, there's very little that you can do with them after you purchase them. So if you needed a faster graphics card, or you needed more RAM, or you needed a better processor, there's very little you can do to easily get access to the components inside. In fact, a lot of these pre-built, pre-assembled, all-in-one computers, they're very difficult to upgrade if they can even be upgraded at all. The other problem is that you have a generation of people who've kind of grown up and relied upon these, black boxes. I use that term, as like this. I'm not sure what exactly is going on inside that box. All I know is that I type something and something appears on the screen. But as a consequence, that whole generation has kind of grown up in this reliance on not knowing exactly how the computer works, but that if there's a problem or if there's a issue, that they don't really know how to address it because they don't even know where to begin. So by building your own PC, not only can you customize that experience specifically for your needs, but you can also identify very quickly what a problem might be. So is it a problem with the motherboard? Well, if you assemble your own PC and you understand all that componentry, you can pretty easily troubleshoot that, as opposed to lugging it into the place that you purchased it from, hoping that they're going to be trustworthy and honest with you. And even if they are trustworthy and honest with you, they may say, well, this is one of those pre-assembled PCs. There's not much we can do about it. It's going to cost a full replacement of a motherboard or full replacement of the computer, as opposed to if you were to buy it on your own and assemble the components yourself. It may just be, I've just simply got a bad ST-RAM that I can simply swap out, and the rest of my computer is still running just perfectly.
Now, Ben, I would bet you would agree with Mike, because I know I've seen it many times. With a problem crops up in your computer, basically you just crack open the tower and jump in there and to see what's wrong.
With a hammer like an egg.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm part of the generation that he's talking about, where a lot of my friends just they have a computer, they go to the store, they find one of the pre-made ones that are a dime a dozen sitting there, and when they break, they don't even call anyone anymore. They just kind of throw it out if they can't fix it and get a new one. It's I know. It's a little bit of a throwaway culture with computers nowadays. But I mean, when you build your own computer, you kind of it has to be a difference between computers and cars are such great analogies because you can say, okay, this guy works on his car, he knows what's wrong with it and he can fix it, and he knows how to get a good car. While someone who just drives a car, doesn't know anything about it. Same thing with computers. You got someone who builds a computer, he knows what's wrong with it and can get a good computer, and as opposed to someone who just types and sends emails.
I knew that you had crossed that line when Mike, when Ben asked me one day to get him some what was it, the little glue?
Thermal gel.
Thermal gel.
Yep.
Get yourself a tube of thermal gel, and then there were two different types. There was one that was more expensive.
Oh, there was like silver flecks in it. And,
yeah, exactly. So I said, okay. Yeah, the cheaper one worked better than the more expensive one too. And
well, that's another great benefit of building your own PC. There's such a feeling of empowerment, and because of the fact that you built it, there's a personal investment. So it's a work of pride and craftsmanship that you don't get when you just simply buy something off the shelf.
Yeah, and not only that, something else I kind of noticed again with Ben is that he takes care of his computer. Granted, he'll put the plate of the with food and the can of soda and Mountain Dew.
I'm sorry, I bought a big tower. This thing is huge. It is just begging to be used as a table.
Right, so he puts stuff on it, but he takes care of it though. I mean, he does take care of it, and there's a little bit of pride in there, that he has it. I think Aaron's the same way. They take care of the computer. With me, I have an all-in-one PC. I have an iMac, and so there it is. If something goes wrong, well, I call Apple, and I have to bring it over to them, and they take care of it for me. But but I have to say the iMac was the first computer that I got that was no longer a tower, because I used to have the tower computer configuration, but finally, I asked myself, when was the last time I actually went inside it and replaced the card and everything, because the iMac, I got the latest one at the time, and it could do everything that I needed to for my purpose, so that was fine. So,
Yep.
But I understand, if you're the gaming enthusiast or you really want to get your hands into the computer, why not build your own? What would you say, Mike, is the most difficult task when building your own PC?
Well, probably the fact that you're now taking on the full responsibility of assembling this computer, and you're talking about if you're truly building an awesome PC, you're talking about some fairly expensive components. Two of the most expensive being the CPU, the main processing unit, and the graphics card. Putting the CPU in, fortunately these days, is fairly foolproof, but it can be damaged if you're not paying attention. You have to put it in just the right way. There's a lot of indicators on the motherboard, on the chip itself, to make sure that the alignment is properly set. But you can damage the chip if you're not really paying attention. So that's one area.
You mean if you reverse the polarity?
It has to be set the right way in order to align the pins to the pins on the board.
And what about static electricity too? If you
that too.
Yeah, you can just zap it.
My brother Aaron, and I know we're going to talk about him frequently tonight because he's, he's messed up more than I have with building computers. He actually just got a motherboard in the mail, and he sat down on the carpet, pulled it out of the box, and zapped it. He felt it and zapped it and broke it.
That's exactly right. So you really have to, and there are plenty of places in the book where I say be careful, especially with static electricity. That's definitely a very dangerous part of putting together the PC. But if you take the proper precautions, you can assemble it fairly well and fairly competently. Again, the book really helps out with pointing out some of the gotchas, so it should be a fairly painless and well-received venture. But I would say those are probably the most nerve-wracking portions. The other portion is if you're putting on a large heatsink like the one I suggest in the book. That really should require two people. I did it myself, but then again, I've done this a couple of times, so I know what to expect. But you really have to be careful, again, because the heavy, large size that is being placed on top of the CPU in order to cool it down, you have to just set that just right. Because, again, if you tighten it on one side or the other too much, there's always the possibility of warping and possibly damaging the motherboard.
Yeah, Addison in the chat room says that Newegg, for example, will ship you motherboards with the CPU pre-installed.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Jack mentions that you should have a grounded wrist strap for CPU insertion. Would you
Good
agree?
idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you have a grounded
See,
wrist strap?
that's good information to know now because I had never heard of that and I still don't have one of those. Ouch! I'm playing with fire.
Exactly. All right. So yeah, and you list some of those caveats in the book too.
Right.
And the book is well illustrated. You have color pictures in here that show the step by step and many of the things that we're talking about tonight. Very well written and step by step how to add the hard drives and the solid state drives and DVDs, that type of thing. Very well written. So
Thank you.
what would you say is the most rewarding? I think you kind of touched on it, but if you had to say it now, what would be the most rewarding aspect of building your own PC? Is it that pride you were mentioning?
Absolutely. The pride, the craftsmanship, and the ownership that you take as a result of building this. I mean, it really is kind of a showpiece for not only that personal investment and the ability to say, hey, this is something I built, but it's also a level of degree of customization as well. Just before the show, Ben and I were talking about the bling that you can add to the computer to further personalize it. And that's something that, some people, I kind of equate it back to that car culture of
Pinstriping.
Exactly, pinstriping and everything else. The same kind of aspects apply to the computer. A lot of LED strips and various, if you really want to go quite expensive, which I don't really go in this book in too much detail because this is really more for people who haven't done this before, but people who are really, really hardcore serious about building PCs. They'll do water cooling, and in the water cooling themselves, the strips themselves will be illuminated, and it looks almost like something out of a sci-fi movie when it's completed.
Yeah, or it reminds me a little bit of those really fancy jukeboxes that have the little bubbles and everything. Exactly.
That's right.
But yeah, and you have the transparent window, let's say on the side, so you can see you can kind of show off the insides with the blue or red or color changing LEDs.
There's just no comparing, just going to Best Buy and picking up, any Gateway, Asus, any computer, taking off the shelf, taking home, plugging in, and then having something that you built in a big case with LEDs, clear screen, lights inside, maybe strobe effect. You have some kind of bubbler in there. When he said centerpiece, your computer could literally be a centerpiece to a room. It's just that awesome to build your own computer.
That's right. In fact, the people who are really, really hardcore about this, they'll make it almost like an altar and design their rooms around it. There's a subreddit on Reddit that's called Battle Stations, and it has a number of different really, really awesome-looking configurations that people have built their computers around. So the computer is the centerpiece, and certainly it's blinged out to extreme measures. But then the computer and the whole interior design that has focal point right to looking at that PC is pretty impressive stuff too. That's a really great culture they have out there.
I've seen, for example, like the cooling fans. They'll have multiple cooling fans, and some of the fans you can buy will actually have retinal persistence displays. So as the fan is spinning, you can read words. It'll have the time, kind of floating in midair from the little spinning LEDs that are on the fan blades themselves. I don't know if you've seen those.
Yep, and of course all the different colors that the fans can be spinning at, and as fans speed up, they change different colors and such, so you can tell how hot your computer is running. Really, really impressive stuff. It's come a long way.
It's like it gives the temperature of the working, so you can see it. I mean, you can make it extremely interesting to look at, so much so that you're watching the screen.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, again, I want to get into things like the cost of the PCs and and
some of the pitfalls that people fall into, because I know there were a lot that I almost did myself.
Well, pitfalls, yes, exactly. But I'll tell you what. Let's go to Southern California, and we have a caller who has a question for you. Computer America, Craig Crossman. Hi, Southern California.
Hello.
Hi.
I would like to know, are there any programs out there that would allow one to access another's computer and go in there and say make repairs on it.
Okay.
Not quite at the top of my hand, but there are a lot of programs like that. I'm drawing a blank on what they're actually called, but I know that PC technicians, they'll have you install them all the time. Actually, just install one. Greg.
To find out what's wrong with your computer, you're saying?
Yeah, well, you install the program and then you let them run it, and then they make a direct connection to your computer, and then they control it just like.
Yeah, there was a couple of there's one called Rescue from LogMeIn. It's probably the most popular one. So literally they will take over your computer, and you give them permission. They send you a code. You put in the code.
No. I want a program that will allow the person I designate to go in.
Well,
go into your computer?
Yes, right.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, it would be the same thing. They would install the software, and you would install it on your computer, and then you would allow them access to your computer.
It works both ways.
Okay. So, in other words, I could choose who goes in there, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
You have full control. Yes, you would. Mm-hmm.
And real quick, someone in the chat room also mentioned the program TeamViewer. If you just Google that, that works really great too.
Yeah, there are a number of them out there.
Okay, would you repeat those two, please, real quick?
Sure. TeamViewer. You can Google it. TeamViewer. TeamViewer. One word. And the other one is Rescue from LogMeIn. They both work, and we'll do what you're looking for.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, caller. Have a good day, and keep listening. All right, 347-884-8881. Our guest is author Mike Riley. He is the author of Build an Awesome PC, 2014 edition. So let's talk about how much you should spend on building your own awesome PC. Now, let me just tell you my position. It's always been such as that when you're going to buy a computer, I always say spend till it hurts. In other words, spend the most money you can that you can afford, because I say when you buy something that's sort of top of the line, you're staving off obsolescence. So as things become older or something, your computer is going to be around for a longer time. Now that's really true with an all-in-one PC. When you can individually replace components in the computer that you buy, that still is a good rule of thumb. But why don't you tell us what you think about how much this would cost and how much?
I agree with you. And the thing about building your own PC, it really is mapping against what you are intending to use it for. So if it's strictly going to be a word processing, email, spreadsheet kind of computer, you really don't need to go too far with graphics cards, a lot of RAM, unless these are really big documents and such. But for the most part, when we're talking about building an awesome PC, it's so that you can do awesome things with it, which could be playing games, could be editing video, it could be doing a whole slew of different heavy computational applications. And so for that purpose, minimum 16 gigabytes of RAM, and preferably the fastest RAM that you can afford. In my book, I recommend the Corsair Vengeance, which has a clock speed of up to 2600, which is as fast as you can get for the current type of consumer-level motherboards that are out there. The reason for that fast RAM is so that those operations that are normally going to be very intensive, that need to cache a lot of data back and forth between RAM, the faster the better, because that will make the whole computer not only operate faster, but boot faster. Another thing which is absolutely mandatory these days, in my opinion, is a solid-state drive, SSD. At least have one for your boot drive, because it makes a world of difference in terms of the boot time and seek time for data. On a normal computer with an old-fashioned spinning hard drive, the boot times can be 30, 40 seconds. With an SSD, it'll be, well, in my case, 10 seconds or less.
I know Ben put a solid-state drive to boot up from it, and it was pretty darn quick for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I have a solid state drive just for exactly the purpose that you're spelling out. I mean, it's only a 60 gig hard drive, so I mean, it's not, the terabyte. I think the standard unit measurement nowadays is terabyte, but mine's only 60 gigs. But I mean, it's just for loading, and it boots up in about 14, 15 seconds.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
And if you need that storage, like Ben was indicating, you can get a secondary drive, like a 4 terabyte hard drive, which is the spinning disk. And in the configuration I recommend in the book, you get a fast SSD for your boot and your primary applications that you're going to be accessing frequently, and then your storage drive for all your video, big games, things of that nature that don't necessarily need to be as fast as absolutely possible as it's pulling off the disk, or again, for longer term storage.
Now, what about some of these newer drives that are coming out that are hybrid drives that they have both the solid state and the standard spinning platter in them? What are your thoughts about those?
Those are fair combinations, but personally, I prefer to have 2 distinct drives. That way, if one drive dies, I still have another drive, as I don't lose everything. It's also nice to be able to segment it physically as opposed to logically, which means rather than creating a partition on a single physical drive and have it partitioned into what the computer sees as multiple logical drives. This way, again, it's a lot easier to kind of physically, distinctively separate the data types, and also it makes it easier so if I do want to swap out for a larger drive, I can easily just image that older drive onto whatever I'm upsizing. So let's say, for example, I did start with a 60 gigabyte SSD, and SSD prices are dropping precipitously. So give it another year, and for that same cost that you spent for that 60 gig drive, you'll be able to purchase a 512 megabyte drive, or I'm sorry, gigabyte drive for that same cost in about a year. So wouldn't it be nice to be able to, once again, because you built your own PC, you can simply just swap that old drive out. But because you've got it on a physical drive, now you can remove that old drive and simply image it onto the new drive without having to muck with a single drive that's been logically partitioned. And therefore, it just makes that upscaling so much easier and so much more manageable.
And that does make a lot of sense. However, it is also kind of nice to have it done for you without even thinking. I mean, I know on the Mac Apple have something they call it the Fusion drive, but these drives that basically combine solid state, and you don't even worry about it. It basically the operating system or the internal operation system of the drive itself kind of controls which is going, which gets cached to the solid state drive. Well, music means we're going to take a break, and we got lots more coming up. This is a lot of fun. We're talking to Mike Riley. He is the author of Build an Awesome PC, 2014 edition. You listen to the Computer America Show. We've got a news tip bulletin from Marty Winston coming up. Dick DiBartolo joining us in hour 2. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No Hair Removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No Hair Removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented Thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hi, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a News Tips Bulletin review of the Spree Fitness Monitor. Now, the Spree Fitness Monitor is a Bluetooth Smart, or Bluetooth LE, meaning iOS only, module in a rubbery headband that relays body temperature, heart rate, and other data to an app that, once you set it up, shows calories burned, distance, speed, and exercise time. You can set goals. We try not to. Also, the choice of Bluetooth Smart isn't especially smart, since it eliminates more than half the handsets out there from working with it, at least for now. Until Bluetooth LE becomes a reality on Android, only iPhones and iPads will work with this. The headband is comfortable, and for many people, more convenient than other wearable tech alternatives. So bottom line, if you want to be your own trainer, a Spree Fitness Monitor can help you track your activity. This is Marty Winston at the News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America show. 33 minutes past the hour, and we have Mike Riley here with us, and we're talking about building your own PC and all that goes along with it. And we just left off before the break talking about hard drives and hybrids, and Craig was mentioning Apple's version of the hybrid drive, and and when you build your own PC, you're going to learn really quickly that, I mean, as Craig was saying earlier, you want to pay more money, not because it's good to spend more money, but because the more money you spend, you're actually future-proofing yourself. So you don't have to replace your parts as often. So, but I mean, as you do start replacing your parts, especially things like the hard drive, the the graphics card, the RAM, and all that kind of stuff, if you build your own PC, you're going to be able to swap that stuff out very easily as compared to a laptop or something pre-built or something along those lines. So I mean, just one of the great things that at least I found with building your own PC is just those upgrades that happen every now and again. And I mean, Mike, I don't know if how often do you actually upgrade as compared to just throw the whole thing up in the air and just say, let's just build a new one?
If I'm lucky, I can usually have a PC last 5 years or sometimes even longer. Now, of course, that does require incremental upgrades throughout the process. So if there is a faster graphics card, for instance, or I need more RAM, I can easily do that by upgrading. But usually by then, the motherboard, which is really the base foundation of computing, there's been so many new technology changes that have taken place over a period of 5 years that for usually around that time, it's time to upgrade the motherboard, and consequently, because the type of sockets that the motherboard has for chipsets are usually not compatible with older versions of the chips as well, so you'll need a new CPU at that point. But yeah, I'd say typically, well, for instance, the awesome PC that I build in the book, that should be future-proof for at least 5 years.
Now, when you change out the motherboard and all the components that go in it for the newer motherboard, that still means can you still keep the case and all the other things, the keyboard and the screen? I mean, you don't have to throw out the whole computer, right?
Absolutely, that's correct. So really, we're talking about the base computer. Now, the thing is that we are going to see a number of new changes coming in the coming years that are going to further change the internals of how computers are going to be, assembling the components inside them, and the level of detail that you're going to be getting out of a display, for instance, is also going to change, particularly in the graphics department.
So nothing is safe, is what you're saying. No. Everything's even the cables, everything is gonna get changed out, and I understand. But Intel is a sponsor of this show, one of our sponsors, and their last time they appeared here on the program, which was a couple of weeks ago, they basically asserted the fact that their commitment to the desktop PC is a solid one. That desktop PCs are going to be around a long time, although they certainly endorse all-in-one PCs as well. The people say, "Oh, everyone's going to have tablets. Eventually it's all going to go away." No, the desktop PC is going to be here for a long time. Intel's going to be backing it. And
despite all the stories you hear every year of, this is the year that the desktop PC dies. This is the year that every year there's that story.
Yeah, but that's not the case.
Well, if anything, the new gaming boxes like the PS4 and the Xbox One, if anything, they've accelerated the desire to build your own PC because of the fact that people are realizing what they can do with this technology. And they're looking for the best fidelity, the best experience possible. Building your own PC is really the only way you're going to be able to get that ultimate fidelity.
Really,
I mean, if you really break down the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, yes, they just came out this year, or late last year. Yes, they're the brand, they're the newest gaming console on the block. But I mean, if you really break down the parts into the RAM, the processor speed, and that kind of thing, I think it's only about about mid-range for gaming PCs nowadays, right?
Roughly, yep.
I mean, upper-end computer, homemade computers, upper-end gaming rigs, they are much, much, much more powerful than any new console, out there.
Right. As a matter of fact, there's been this somewhat of a controversy in the gaming space of a relatively new game from Ubisoft called Watch Dogs, and there's been allegation that Ubisoft may have dumbed down the PC version in order to make it on par with the console editions. Now, of course, Ubisoft flatly denies that, and it's quite possible that that was never the intention. But the perception...
We had that on the news last night, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. So, yeah, the perception there is the fact that, in order to not let the consoles look as inferior, if you will, to, say, the PC, that, this was kind of all set on the same playing field.
Yeah, they had to kind of save face because they said, "Oh, we're just concerned for the the quality of the user experience," and it was they were trying to put in a spin on it so they wouldn't be held accountable that they did something like that. But I think they got caught with their pants down, and it's you can put all the spin you want on it, but these things were getting were hidden in there, and then yeah, exactly. Interesting that you bring that up. So anyway, getting back to building. So we've talked about some of the costs.
By the way, real quick, I found my motherboard. Our guest asked me what motherboard I was running, and he asked me about 10 minutes before the show started. It took me half an hour.
It was inside your computer, right? You found it.
Well, I mean, obviously it's inside my computer, but it's buried. No, but I had to find the model number, and I tried to go through the system, the system information. I couldn't easily find it there, and I downloaded something called CPU ID. Couldn't really find it there, and then I went into Windows and ran DX diagnostic or whatever, and I finally found it. That is one of the harder hardware components to find.
Well, and one of the reasons why in my book I went with the Asus Formula board was because it does come with its own utilities to not only tell you exactly what the motherboard is and all of the operations that are taking in real time, but another nice feature is that when there are BIOS updates, which anybody who's built their own PC realizes that BIOS updates are quite frequent. At least maybe, especially if it's a new board, maybe every 6 months or so that there's a new update. And in the past, it was on the onus of the person to go out and remember to check websites to see, hey, are there any new BIOS updates I need to be aware of, either because of security issues or because of bug fixes, what have you. Well, what's nice about the Asus utility is that it automatically pings and checks for any updates. downloads them and actually does the install in real time. So in other words, in older or different type of motherboards, you would have to shut down the computer, have a bootable floppy or a bootable USB thumb drive that you would have to install the BIOS update. Not with the Asus, it just does it automatically, just like any other Windows update. It's so much easier.
They were talking for a while, Microsoft was talking about eliminating the BIOS completely and using some other process. I don't know if that ever came about, though.
Well, I know they were talking about the trusted computing module, and then there were a couple of other approaches, certainly with the different types of protected memory space, mostly from a security standpoint, that those were being considered. But of course, that also eliminates the ability to install other operating systems that don't follow that kind of procedure.
Well, there's Microsoft for you.
Yeah, exactly. So things like
I do behind that, yeah.
And I do touch about different alternatives to Windows in the book, like things like various Linux distributions. One that is particularly for gamers. There's the Steam service that Valve Corporation is managing, and they're coming out with their own hardware that's basically it's turning a PC into a game box, and that's known as the Steam OS. And that's something you could easily install on the custom PC, that if it were locked down by any particular BIOS settings that were specific to Windows, for instance, you wouldn't be able to install an operating system like that.
And again, for those who are not, the BIOS is the basic input-output system, and this is when you turn your computer on, something has to load everything before you even begin to go to the hard drive. And these are all the settings that your computer uses to bring everything up and starting to run. And it basically happens when you first power it on. It's what goes on when you're sitting there waiting for everything to kind of come up. That's the basic input.
That's stuff like before the Windows logo, and it's all the text scrolling all over the place. That's your BIOS booting up.
Yep, that is, right. and it's necessary. Still necessary.
Yeah, that's actually, I found out that a couple months ago my motherboard failed, and when your motherboard fails, you don't really know what's wrong with your computer because nothing happens. So when you know that your BIOS, which is just the very first thing you see, when you know that doesn't start up, it's your motherboard. Yeah, exactly.
Trouble. Yeah,
and that's another reason why I went with the Asus, because there's actually an error code LED display on the board itself as it boots up, and if it comes up with a particular code, you can look up that code and say, okay, it's the memory that's not properly seated, or there seems to be an actual issue with the board itself. So it really helps to eliminate the guesswork.
No, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit more about your book, Mike. Again, now it's entitled "Build an Awesome PC," and you say 2014 edition, and you are specific about the year because why?
Because 2015 is going to bring a whole slew of changes, and while the computer that's being built in the book is certainly going to be a very, very fast and powerful computer for the next few years, there are a number of changes that are going to continue to propel the PC forward. And even from when we were talking earlier about the display technology, right now, high definition is more than adequate for most people. In fact, if you look at what displays used to look like compared to an HD display these days, the old displays would look out of focus, really, really pixelated, and people have to wonder, wow, I actually worked on that for years. Well, the same is going to be true in a couple of years as 4K displays, ultra-high definition displays, become the norm. And 2015, you're going to start seeing some displays coming out. You're already starting to see high definition, these ultra-high definition or 4K displays today, but they're rather pricey. They're very costly. They're comparable to when flat panels first came out. There's a big cost difference between an HD and an Ultra HD display. But in order to drive all those pixels, it's 4 times the resolution of a regular HD display. That's why it's called 4K. In order to drive that imagery, you're going to need extremely powerful graphics processors and CPUs to be able to feed all that data and have it as ultimate of an experience as people are used to today with regular high-def displays.
All right, so
And real quick, of course, because you're running all that extra stuff for 4K, you know, when you build your own PC, you have to think about things like, well, all that extra juice, you're going to need more electricity. So you're going to need a bigger power supply.
Right, and they're also going to get a larger hard drive because all those graphic assets that were fine for HD now have to be quadrupled in order to be displayable on an ultra high display.
Yeah, and you talk about that, selecting a power supply that suits your hardware. I mean, you have this all laid out, the CPU and the hardware. I mean, it's about 100 pages in the book. It's well laid out, and again, easy steps to construct the machine that you need. And again, let me emphasize, you need, or maybe should you desire or want. Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you this. So, in your own words, why would someone interested in building their own PC, you know, buy a book like yours, and instead of, let's just say, watching the hundreds of YouTube videos, you know, that are pretty much on the same subject out there?
Well, I have to be honest. I asked myself that same question, but what I found quickly was that while there are a lot of YouTube videos out there, I'd say 95% of them are, you know, kind of low grade, people who are enthusiasts that built it themselves. Some of the facts are questionable when they are making references to components or the reasons for selecting components. A lot of times the quality of the video or the audio are poor, and even if they're really well done, they become dated fairly quickly. There are some really good ones out there, but they're about 2-3 years old, and what they were once touting as the best components for that snapshot in time are really no longer relevant.
Well, that you make some good points there.
Much like computers, videos about computers also get dated just as quickly.
Yes, they do. Yes, yeah, that is very true. I mean, you'll be watching a video and you realize that it's a video from 2011 or something. You know?
I'm sure anyone who has had a problem with their computer and tried to Google the answer and found a forum post and said, "This is exactly what's going on. Let's see what's going on." They look at the date and it's from like 2007. It's like, that doesn't apply to me anymore.
Right.
Yeah, you see a lot of outdated materials. Google, it's not Google's responsibility to get outdated material off of the internet. You know, they just basically point you and show you what's out there. You know, and so you can't necessarily rely on that. So when you get a book like Mike's that is to the point, it's well illustrated, it covers the topics, and you see it's the 2014 edition. Well, you know, it's June, it's about the mid-2014. You have something that's current. I assume you come out with a new one every year, or 2015, 2016. Yes, every year.
That's the plan. You know, or if there's a major technological shift, such as 4K, that certainly would prompt the new build to show that latest and greatest awesome PC capability.
You know, when you say awesome PC, you know, one person's awesome might be someone's, you know, milquetoast. I mean, so what in your opinion? When you say an awesome PC, what is it an awesome PC in your opinion, or what are you trying to convey to your readers?
Two things. First, if they are a gamer, that the PC they build will be the kind of computer that they can set the ultimate settings, which either are called ultra or high or ultra high settings across the board for all the graphic options that are in a game. So there's no question that it can run absolutely the latest titles with everything turned on. Things like Watch Dogs, things like Wolfenstein New Order. These are games that are extremely GPU and CPU intensive, and on older computers they will chug and they will drop fidelity as a result. But if you want it to look as good as what the publishers intended it to be without any compromises, the PC that you're building in the book is going to be able to deliver that. Conversely, if people are looking for video editing and not having to worry about lag or stutter or frame tearing when they're trying to do large-scale nonlinear editing on a video application like, say, Adobe Premiere or Sony's name is escaping, Vegas Pro, Avid. There's a couple others out there. If you're using a older computer, that experience is going to be a real exercise in frustration at times, as opposed to if you have the best processor, great memory, good deal of storage, fast SSD drive, excellent GPU for graphics display and high fidelity. It's going to make live much easier.
I would think so. The frame rate, these are all important things. Now, how many frames per second are you seeing?
And Craig still thinks 30 is good.
Well, 24 frames a second was for the motion picture industry. That's the frame rate where you see full motion video. The brain doesn't see the stutter anymore.
Well, no, 30 is that technical thing.
Well, 24 frames.
24 was movie. 30 was anything over 30 you can't process.
Right, exactly. But for games, you want 60 frames per second.
At least
60 frames per second. And if you're actually doing 3D gaming, well, then of course you're getting you want to go as fast as possible because you're going to cut that in half for each eye as the LEDs or LCDs cover up each eye to give that three-dimensional look.
Yeah. And what about things like these virtual headsets that you're going to need even more processing power to get that surround visual experience. What's the one? I'm blocking the name. The one that's coming out from Facebook. Just bought them.
Oculus Rift.
Thank you, Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
I mean, all these things are going to come into the mainstream. You need a computer with some fairly good horsepower to run these things, right?
Yeah, so far, of course, the Oculus is still in development. There isn't a consumer model yet, so they haven't really locked in the specifications for minimum and recommended PC configurations, but I can guarantee you the kind of PC you're going to want to run on that kind of hardware, the faster the better. And again, I think the one that I built in the book is definitely going to be Oculus ready.
You will. Okay. So which is the one that you built in the book? I mean, can you kind of give us an overview of the one that you finally wind up with?
Yeah. So as we were kind of discussing along, it was the Asus Formula motherboard, the Corsair Vengeance SD RAM, the Samsung 840 SSD drive, standard 4 terabyte hard drives for large term storage, the NVIDIA 780 Ti graphics card, and of course various peripherals. I tend to prefer the Corsair peripherals, the keyboard, the mice. I know there's other companies out there, Razer. Well, there are a couple of reasons. Probably the one that attracts me the most is the feel of the Corsair products. And again, that's strictly a personal judgment. Everybody has different perceptions of what makes a good keyboard. The K95 from Corsair, which is my recommendation, has got what's known as Cherry MX keys. There's different kind of assignments of what these MX or Cherry MX and is it Blue MX, etc. It really defines what the key press feels like. And the Cherry MX, for me, it's just got enough of a click to it where it reminds me of a really well-built keyboard, especially the old IBM, but it doesn't have that clicky-clack feel to it like the old IBMs do.
Ben loves that click-clack. I mean, there's more down the next room,
Yeah, I'm a gamer, so I mean the fully mechanical keyboard, very tactile. You know when you strike a key, and you mean to strike a key, so you want to know when it's pressed. And I mean, gaming peripherals, Razer is always good, Thermaltake's always good, and then Logitech actually has quite a few good gaming peripherals themselves. But I mean, they're all out there, and everyone has their own, and that's part of the fun of it, though, is everyone finds their own peripherals and what they like.
That's all right.
And God forbid, maybe mix them from different companies.
But they just wouldn't look right because they all have a very good look.
Right,
okay.
They all have their different color schemes and their different design aesthetics.
So you have to get them so they all match, right? Because looks.
Oh yeah.
This is a part of the fun of building your own awesome PC. And again, one person's awesome. Again, it all depends. But the one that you wind up when you described in the book, certainly. I mean, even right down to the game pedals. You have the rudder pedals. It looks like for when you when you're doing driving games, I'm assuming, you know.
That's right. Yeah, the Logitech G27 driving wheel.
Yeah, the driving and the pedals. So if you're into driving or racing
sims. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so then we got about a minute or two left, Mike. So you know, obviously, other than buying your book, which we certainly recommend, and of course, if you go to today's show, you go to our show notes at computeramerica.com. It'll be June 25th, Wednesday, and you'll see in the first hour, Mike Riley. We actually have a link to his website and to the website where you can actually get the book from, so you can order it right there. We have both links available, and that'll stay there for forever, as far as we're concerned. And you can, but what I was going to ask you, any other words of wisdom? Obviously, buying your book, but what else would you suggest that people do if they're really considering building their own PC?
Do the research up front. You know, certainly I'd recommend my book, but there are a number of other resources on the web. There's a couple of websites out there for if you're just trying to get a perspective of what kind of parts. There's a PCPartsPicker.com, which is helpful to do comparison shopping, or to find out, to make sure that, okay, if I am going to buy, say, a 780 Ti, where is the retailer that has the cheapest price available? Because obviously it's a commodity part that can be purchased by a number of different alternatives, but PC Part Picker is a great site to help do comparison shopping for those type of parts. There's a lot of Reddit groups and subreddit groups that are available that are very current and very opinionated, so you have to be prepared for that kind of thing. But overall, you know, make it happen. You know, make a commitment to say, this is a year that I'm going to build my own PC. If you've never done it before, you know, there's plenty of help online. There's a lot of opportunity, and it is something that you will treasure and empower the rest of your life.
All right. Well, listen, Mike, I want to thank you so much for being with us here on tonight's show. It was a pleasure having you on the program, and we'll have you back in 2015 when the next book comes out. Okay.
Sounds terrific. Thank you so much, Craig.
All right. Take care. Have a good evening. Good night.
You too. Good night.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, coming up in the next hour, we're going to have Dick DeBartolo, the Giz Wiz, and Mad Magazine's maddest writer. And he's got some of the really coolest things that he has on the show, and we'll expect him to join us here momentarily. You're listening.
You know, I've been putting off rebuilding my computer.
You have? Why?
It's about 2.5 years old, and you know, most computers have about a 5-year lifespan, and it's already showing its age. You know, there are about 3 new graphics cards and about 2 or 3 new processors. You know, just ever since the one that I got. So I mean, it's something that I wanted to do, but I think it wasn't until this show that I realized I need to jump on that.
All right, we're going to try to get Dick on the show, and we're going to pause here just for a moment, and then I'm sure we'll get him on. This is the Computer America Show on the Boost Radio Network, on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems?
Yeah, I'm here.
Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers.
Dick at gizwiz.biz.
Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Gizwiz. Okay, hold on, Dick. Hello and welcome to Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben, who is standing by and watching Craig.
Why don't you talk just for a moment while I get? Need to tell Dick something to get him on the show, okay?
All right. And yeah, Craig is trying to get the Gizwiz himself, and we're going to talk about all the new latest gadgets that he finds all over the place.
Dick, hold on. Uh, hold on.
You talking to me or?
No, I'm talking to Dick. It's Dick at gizwiz.biz.
Yep, that's his website is gizwiz.biz, and he doesn't have just a Computer America thing. He has he has a website that he reviews lots of different things, but he actually has his own section for Computer America where he has it labeled under non-paid lackey fun on Computer America.
All right. Again, we'll hopefully we'll be joined by Dick momentarily, and we'll get this. But anyway, welcome into hour 2 of the Computer America show. Let's just talk about a couple of quick things here. Our contests are in full swing at computeramerica.com. Head over to our contest page, and you can see all of our contests. We have our Logitech contest is in full swing, and we also have our show reminder winner that we have every single Friday. We draw a winning name from the list of names of people who get the show reminder, and the show reminder is the only place where you can see who's going to be on the show for the entire week. Okay. And again, every Friday from that list of names, we draw a winning name to win a really nice prize from Logitech. And also we have our Logitech contest where we give away not 1, not 2, but 3 great prizes from Logitech. And you can see them there. All the information that you give is completely confidential. We give your information out to no one. Okay. And then
at the end of the 6 weeks, I believe we draw 3 winners.
That's right, and they're completely private and confidential. We give your information to no one, and then every 6 weeks we give away the 3 great prizes. Head over to computeramerica.com, enter in all of our contests,
and by the way, I'm going to call it a mailing list, even though I know it's our show reminder every week. I just need to point inside to everyone that lately we've been scheduling more and more guests and more varied guests. I know on Monday, I believe, we had the Hayden Planetarium and things like that. So if you haven't signed up for it because you think it's getting predictable or something, it's definitely not. We have guests that you will definitely want to hear.
Right.
So look forward to that, sign up for it, and really tune in to make sure ask your questions on the air for our guests that we get.
Okay. By the way, Dick is for some reason he's not getting the email, and we're having some technical difficulties. So he's going to sign on to AIM, hopefully, and then we'll be able to get him to come into the.
Well, actually, if we have a moment, there were a couple things that were handed down today by the. I believe they're called the Supreme Burrito Court. No, the Supreme Court. And they handed down a few rulings because they're about to go on break.
Okay, what happened?
Let's see. The first one, of course, was a company that I've been watching ever since they first started coming out in New York, and they were an antenna company called Arrow. And what Arrow did was just what anyone can do with rabbit ears in a very populated city is, you stick rabbit ears and you connect it. You connect an antenna to your TV, and you can pick up over-the-air broadcasts that are, just floating all around you. And I mean, it's completely legal to, to pay for an antenna, plug it into your TV, and get those channels for free. Completely legal. I mean, they're putting them out there. You pick them up. Not your fault. Now, what Arrow did was they sold the antenna, and then it connected to a computer or another kind of service where it would automatically record all of those channels that you would get for free, allowing you to view it like a DVR. Now, courts were, of course, all the media outlets were fighting this, and the courts actually ruled that it was legal, just on a state level. So, they were pushing it and pushing it and pushing it until finally they made it all the way up to the Supreme Court just to see if Arrow is legal, because it's, I guess they're fine with you picking the signal out of the air, but as soon as you record it and let you watch it from your TV, smartphone, computer, anywhere, all of a sudden they have a problem with it because they're not getting any money. So, the Supreme Court ruled on it, and today they announced that Arrow and their whole business model was not allowed. So they had to take all of their, now they have to either find some way to make it legal, or take it all down, dismantle it, and disband the company because their product is no longer allowed to be sold in the United States. So that was the first ruling that kind of caught us by surprise. Which is actually kind of sad because it's just combining a few technologies that we all have access to, but now because they're combined in such an easy and cost-effective way, all of a sudden now it's illegal because it is what it is. The second one, which should hopefully come to no surprise to anyone, was the ruling over the fact that any police agency or government agency cannot search your phone without a search warrant.
Well, here.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, I know, exactly. It's without a warrant. I mean, it's your property, your information, your data, and I know even though the NSA has all of it already, they already have all your data, but besides the fact, just if they wanted to steal your cell phone and crack it and get all the pictures, photos, voicemails off it, that's not allowed. It was 9-0. It wasn't even close. It wasn't a 5-4 decision or anything like that. 9-0, they are not allowed. And yeah, they upheld that. So,
so
that's very good.
They're going to be basically out of business, is what you're telling me.
Well, no, this is over the cell phone ruling, where where the FBI, the police force, or none of them, they could not search your phone without a search warrant from a judge.
Jonathan wanted to know was Arrow charging its customers, right, on renting an
Arrow, I believe, was a one-time fee. You actually paid for you might have paid for a service online, to be able to stream it to any device, and you have to use their platform for that. But I mean, you paid for the antenna, which I think was like $50, and then to use their service, which was like the DVR on any device, I think that was like a $10 a month deal. But otherwise, you could just use it like a normal antenna. So I mean, that was their business model.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but because they completely cut, NBC and all the other ones that you get with the antenna, as soon as they cut them out of the equation, they didn't like that, and to the Supreme Court it went and got struck down. So sad day for Arrow.
Sad day.
Sad day for Arrow. Good day for consumer privacy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the GizWiz is now in the chat room, and I have sent him the link again. I don't know what we're having such difficulties. He says he's clicking on it and it doesn't open. Oh my God! I don't know what else to do here.
Maybe it was pop-up blocked.
No. Yeah. Okay. So do you have pop?
Didn't we used to connect with Mr. DiBartolo with Skype?
Yeah, I'm gonna call him. I'm just gonna use the dial-up here and see if I can get him on the air that way. Okay, I'm putting this phone number right now, and hopefully we will get him connected this way, and we'll see if we can get him on. There he is. Okay.
Oh.
Hey, Dick, it's Craig Crossman, Computer America.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I've been...
Is Ben doing the show now? Did the other guy leave?
No, he didn't leave. Ben and Charles Tendell are now sharing the co-host chair.
Oh, okay, because normally Charles sends me the thing and I get it instantly, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it is strange. Well, I'm gonna try sending it to you one more time, and then while we're on the phone, no, it's I can.
Yeah, if I what it is I'm working on 3 different computers, so I have each mail service open on a different computer. So yeah, do gizwizbiz@gmail.
Okay, I'll try that now.
Okay, we haven't hit that one yet.
Giz@gmail. Okay. And
one of the problems that I think a lot of tech-savvy people run into is too many computers, too many addresses, and too many ways to communicate.
Yeah. Let me see if this works. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll say send.
Good.
I just sent that. I just sent you that individual. Okay. And anyway, Dick DiBartolo is known as the GizWiz, is Mad Magazine's maddest writer, and he is here. It's the last Wednesday of the month, and he's got some really great things to talk about here. Now, if you want to follow along with us, if you go to the gizwiz.biz website, and you'll see a banner there that says non-paid Lackey Fun on Computer America, and you click that, and you'll get to see everything that Dick is going to be talking about with us on tonight's show. Did you get that email?
I did not.
Okay, well, let's start off with the first one, and if you get your email, we'll switch. But in the meantime,
okay, it is
finally a truly different portable Bluetooth speaker. This is strange.
This is really neat. It's a very strange name. It's called Fugoo, Fugoo, and the Bluetooth speaker. It sounds great, but when they called me, I said, it's got to be something really different because I'm so tired of doing Bluetooth speakers. And she said, well, it's waterproof. And I said, well, what do you mean by waterproof? And she said, totally waterproof. I said, can I go down to the marina and throw this in the Hudson River? She said, absolutely. I said, all right, well, now I'm interested. So they sent me a unit. The sound is really decent. Mm-hmm. I did take it down the river. I was going to drag it behind the boat, but then there would be no one driving because my buddy would be videotaping it. So we ended up starting the motor up at the dock, revving the motor up fairly fast, so we were creating a lot of turbulence behind the boat. And then I just threw it in several times. I learned several things. One is that Bluetooth doesn't penetrate water. So every time it would go under, you'd hear no sound. When it would pop up again, you'd hear the music playing, and I did that a few times. Took it out, was still playing really great. And they call it 360 sound because it has 6 drivers, and they point all around the case. So the sound, it sounds like the entire unit is playing. But another, what I think is an amazing fact is with 3.5 hours of charge time, there is 40 hours of playback at half volume. Mm-hmm. So that's the most I've ever heard out of any Bluetooth speaker. And it's interesting, what you do is that they build a core which has all the electronics in it and the drivers, and then you pick the kind of case you want it to be in. And when you slide it in the case, it doesn't look like it's in a case. It looks like that's the way it was built. So there are 3 different cases, like Comfort and Sport. I forgot the different names. They're under $200 with the core. And then the Rugged, which is what I had, or I think it's called the Tough. The Tough core and Tough case is under $230. You can drop it on the floor. It has bumpers on either side. It's out of aluminum and polycarbonate. Very, very impressive.
All right, and again, and then obviously it's a little pricey, but obviously it's a very tough.
It's up there. Yes, it's up there with the other premium speakers. Exactly.
Exactly, but you say it has a terrific sound and it looks nice. So
the sound is really excellent.
All right.
And so if you're going camping into the beach or something, you don't have to worry about babying this thing. You can just manhandle it.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, I understand congratulations are in order, Dick, that I know you were really into boats, but you finally bought your first car. Not only is it the car, you bought yourself a Ferrari. So there you go.
Yeah, living in New York City, what's good about the Ferrari I bought is it's easy to park because it's about 4 inches long.
Oh.
So parking is a breeze. No, so when I have a lot of time, I just kind of browse Amazon looking for really offbeat gadgets that don't cost a lot of money that I think would be fun. And the reason is if they're under $20 and it turns out that they're a piece of crap, talking about a piece of crap on shows can be fun. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is if it's something that I bought and I think it's worthless, it's $20. I'm not going to worry about sending it back. Mm-hmm. So this thing is the Ferrari car-shaped optical USB mouse. and it comes from China. It takes forever to get there, and obviously Amazon doesn't bother reading the descriptions that get posted there, because this is what it says about the red car-shaped optical USB mouse, and I quote, "The classic appearance of color match, streamlined appearance grade, and avant-garde four-wheel drive like image of the mouse is definitely designed to our unexpected, exquisite find vividly before us." That's the first, and then the second sentence, "Quiet blue set off with bright red sports car, the whole platform."
Oh, gee.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
See, I wonder
Also,
who-
mouse both deductive portrait.
I wonder who wrote this.
Anyway, I got taken. I paid $3.64.
Yeah.
When I checked 2 days ago, the car-shaped optical USB mouse was $3.29.
Oh,
And included free shipping. So what's great about it is the headlights light up, the scroll wheel is the hood ornament, and that lights up. And they've made it so the red laser shines out the back of the car, so it looks like lighted tail lights.
no.
So it's a fun gadget.
Okay, and it works well then.
Yeah, it works. I use it as my main mouse.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
So, but you wondered who wrote all those wonderful glowing reports.
Oh yes, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So the Ferrari mouse gets a thumbs up from the Gizwiz.
Thumbs up, exactly.
Okay.
I don't think you're allowed to say thumbs up. Fingers up.
Fingers up.
A finger up.
A finger
no, maybe
up.
that's not
No,
good.
that doesn't. I don't think that works either.
No.
I got to convince you, by the way, for next month you need to get, even if you never use it, just for this, get an AIM account, because then if you're on AIM,
Okay.
I can just shoot you the link and there's no
Okay.
problem.
You know, I used to have AIM, but I didn't use it in so many years. It seems to have just
Well,
vanished from my screen.
I have you as GizWizBiz as your screen name, so if you
okay, I'll try and reinstate it again.
yeah, I mean, it's still on. If it wasn't if you were
And
off,
also, you should get internet. Maybe that's why your mail's not getting out.
no, it's going on. Something's going on. I have problems with all my guests for sometimes when I send it to them. So I just tell them to get the Skype, not Skype.
I see. Oh, okay.
And do it that way. Okay.
Yeah. No, because you sent it to 3 accounts. I have 3 computers open with 3 email accounts open, and so far nothing's come to any of them.
Oh,
so,
now you're.
I'll get AIM.
You are on Skype, aren't you? So I'm on
Skype.
Okay, I'm just sent you the link on Skype. There it is. So maybe you should see that.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me just open Skype here, and
Yeah, then
or we could just use Skype.
Okay.
I just sent it to you, Richard D. Bartolo. That's your.
Yeah, no, I heard it come down.
There it is. That's the link. So we can do that.
All right. You know what? Do I have to click on? I don't. The message box is not up. I heard it come to Skype.
Yeah.
So let me click on Computer America.
No,
And-
you don't have the text box open on Skype. No, that's just amazing.
No, I guess I don't.
Everything that can go wrong. Just say, is it a view under the menu? You can say view text. There.
Hey, wait a second. Tell me if you get this. I'm saying.
Yeah, I see you type. I see it. I see you typing. Yes, send this
do you
back.
get that?
Yeah, sure. I'm seeing the text box.
Yeah. Oh, did you get my text that I just said send this back?
Yeah, but
All right, so send it again. Now I see where it should show up.
okay, there it is.
There it goes.
Okay. All right. So anyhow, let's go to the next one, which is
Okay.
a garbage bag that stands on its own. I thought it was a garbage bag, but I think you meant bag. A garbage bag that stands on its own, which is kind of
Oh,
cool.
did I say garbage bag? Oh, yeah, that's all right. Okay, well, I'm on now. Can you see me?
Let me see if I see you. No, I don't see you yet. Nope.
Okay.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Now you just came.
Right.
All right.
All right, there you are. So what we'll do.
Oh my God! Oh my God! You got a camera?
Hey, okay, yes, I got a camera now.
Let me hang up the. I can't believe it.
Yes, and I'm holding a little dog. You see the dog?
Let me just hang up this phone.
Yeah.
I don't. Oh, yes.
That's Diesel. That's our dog.
Oh, that's a great. Oh, what a great dog.
How
many years have I been doing this show?
A number of years, right?
I have never seen you.
Okay, well, there you go.
And so let's go back to not seeing you. No, this is not, no, this is great. Okay.
Yeah, no, we can.
Oh,
we can do that here. I'll make you happy there, okay?
Oh, no, come on, no, put that back. It's much more personable. Yeah, okay, so it's called the Gorilla Self-Standing Bag. And what's neat about it is when you're sweeping up leaves in the yard and you have a garbage bag, when the garbage bag has nothing in it, you hold it. Yes, you hold it open, and as you throw the leaves, somehow it manages to close, and the leaves go over the top of the bag or under the bag. So anyway, the self-standing bag, they're a very heavy plastic, but they have a square bottom, so that when you open the bag up, you put your hand in and you push the bottom down so it's square. And then you fold the first 3 inches or so of the top of the bag open, and that makes the rim not fold in on itself. And then you just stand it up. And so you don't need a second person holding the bag open. You just throw whatever the garbage is in it.
Now the bag, the 3.3 millimeters thick, that means it's a good heavy-duty bag. That's what we use here, you know.
Right.
So
okay, but you don't have square bottom bags, so that's probably why they fall over.
Well, now how big a capacity are they?
You know what? They say it holds 200 pounds. Who in God's name could pick up 200 pounds?
Hey, you haven't seen our garbage.
Really? Let me just
that alone generates 300.
It's not just lifting 200 pounds. It's finding 200 pounds of garbage. That's the trick.
I'm looking. You know, it doesn't give the gallons, which I'm quite surprised at.
Yeah.
But you know what? Oh, I did a video of one, and I'm standing in it, and it's past my waist. So
okay.
They're rather large.
All right, and you can get them at a $12 bag. So it's $1 a bag. You get
it's a $1 a bag. My guess is that price might. I don't know if that's good or bad, but for me, $1 a bag, not to have to worry about the stuff falling out, I would pay it. I wouldn't use it as my everyday bag, but for the backyard, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay. Again, it's called the
Gorilla self-standing bag.
Okay. Cool. All right, so now here's a fun new gadget from the Pepcom Fall New York City show. What is the Pepcom show?
Pepcom, you know, you guys cover Pepcom when you out in Vegas and Showstoppers. So this is really neat. It's from Lego, and you know, Lego's having a streak of popularity now with the Lego Movie, and they're forever extending the brand out. So this is a whole new play system called Lego Fusion, and the kid builds. One of the games is kind of a small town, and so you build the facade of a building, the front of a building, and it doesn't matter how you build it. You build it on this little plate that comes in the kit, and then you use your cell phone or your tablet, and you take a picture of it. And the plate that you built it on sends all the information to your tablet as to the size of the bricks you used, the colors you used, where they are, and your 2D thing that you're holding in your hand suddenly goes into the town. Then you take your mouse and you run around and you tell it where you want the building to be, your building. Excuse me. It puts the building down. And all these little people come out, and they make your building three-dimensional. They put a roof on it and a church. The walls. It's a lot of fun. And then the games involve things where your building might get damaged, and in real time you take Lego bricks and fix your building, and then photograph it again, and then it fixes the building in the game.
That's so cool.
It's really great, and they're not wildly expensive. Each kit is $35, and you get the special Lego bricks, and you get the plate that it goes on that your cell phone or tablet will recognize, and there's a town master, there's battle towers, there's one where you build race cars, and every brick you use to build the race car changes the racing dynamics of the car because you're adding weight to it or taking weight away from it.
Wow. What's unique about the bricks? There's something inside each little Lego brick that.
I'm not sure. I'm trying to find what the plate that it sits on. The woman said they are special Lego bricks. They may be special colors that your tablet can recognize through the software. I'm not quite sure, but it's. I built something and they sucked it into the game.
Well,
it's very unique.
If you're in, especially if you're into Lego, it's sort of like a Lego Sim City, as Jonathan said.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly
exactly.
right.
Well, there it is. Okay, and again, not overly expensive.
Yeah, $35 for each game, under $35.
And if you're the type that likes to go see Lego movies and Lego, you know.
Yes, exactly. You'll like that.
This might be for you. Okay. All right. So this next one asks the question: too many photos, movies, or music files on your tablet or smartphone? Well.
Yeah. Now I don't know if you ever had the version 1. This is from Kingston. And it was the CES 2013 when they introduced the Mobile Light Wireless.
Okay.
And this was a little gadget that makes its own Wi-Fi spot. There's no memory in it. It does have a battery in it. You can put SD cards in it or a USB flash drive in it. And then it makes a hotspot so that you can watch those movies on your phone. You can, if you have like an iPhone where you can add memory and you've taken a ton of pictures, you can offload them from your phone to the Mobile Light Wireless device. So now what they've come up with is a Generation 2. It's a bigger device, but it's bigger for very useful reasons. First of all, the battery in it now is 2.5 times the original. So it's a 4,640 milliamp battery. So you can not only stream movies and stuff, you can charge your cell phone with it. It used to run for 4 hours. Now it can stream for 13 hours.
Cool.
It has a USB. It has a DSL, a Wi-Fi input spot, so that in a hotel, if the Wi-Fi is hardwired, you can plug it into this and make that a hotspot for the room so that everybody can watch the movies. You can also sit in a room, give everybody the hotspot address, and you can show movies on your device, or better yet, you're showing snapshots. Instead of everybody leaning over your shoulder, everybody can see the output. Up to 5 people can watch the output on their own device through the Mobile Light Wireless Generation 2 device.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's coming the end of next month, and it's under $70.
I was gonna say, how much is it? Under $70?
Under $70. Okay. So if you look on Amazon, you'll still see the Mobile Light Wireless. You want Mobile Light Wireless G2.
All right. Very cool.
Yeah, pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
When we come back,
I'll be on a different network.
Hopefully not. A blast of the past. You're gonna hear from another product from a company you probably haven't heard from in a while. Kodak. That's right. Yeah.
They make bears, right?
Yeah. That's Kodiak.
Yeah, that's Kodiak.
Yeah, exactly. And we got lots more coming out, including the Grab Pad. You'll hear more about it. A news tip bulletin. Stay with us.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 120,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, Cover America Auto Care has announced revolutionary, inexpensive mechanical breakdown coverage that is now available to the general public to save consumers thousands on auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for drivers to call who own a vehicle that is less than 10 years old for a free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number is 800-483-2514. Drivers who are covered with this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair again. This is the auto coverage now sweeping across America at a fraction of what dealerships charge and is now available to the public by calling today. The number to call is 800-483-2514. 800-483-2514. That's 800-483-2514.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Hi, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a News Tips Bulletin Review of the StarTech ST4300U3C3 port charger. Now, I have been personally frustrated with underpowered powering devices, but this is going to get just a little geeky. The wall wart that comes with this is rated 12 3 ports, 900 milliamps each. The 3 dedicated charging ports are rated at 1 amp and 1 amp and 2 amps. Doing the math, it needs to deliver 38 watts, a total of 7.6 amps at 5 volts. The wall wart delivers 36 watts, and the sourcing port, the upstream USB 3 port, delivers 4.5 watts. So at last, we seem to have a solution that isn't current starved. The 4 data-connected ports have status LEDs. The 3 charging ports have an intelligent control chipset that auto-shifts to fast charging mode when appropriate. The whole thing is compact and rectangular, about the size of a protein bar. So bottom line, the StarTech 4-port USB 3 hub and 3-port charger is a powerfully sweet way to tackle a lot of USB needs all at once. This is Marty Winston at the News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Thank you, Mr. Marty Winston, for that. And yeah, we have Mr. Dick DeBartolo here with us, and we're going over some of the gadgets that he finds. And so far, my favorite has to be the mouse car, but you know, it's just a personal favorite.
Now, by the way, during the break, you got to see Jasmine. If you're watching our live streaming video page, that's what our dog. You saw Diesel.
Our dog is really sweet and behaved, so well behaved.
She just jumped right up, and then she just walked back to a chair in the background. You can see.
See, and for those watching, that's why I actually picked up Diesel, who who you saw at the beginning when he was just getting on. Here he is again. I picked him up here because I feel like him and DeBartolo have the same mustache.
They do.
They do.
They do. Wow.
They compete.
They do. Oh, great dog too.
So
the show's going to the dogs. I would pick Fairway up if she's 15 and doesn't like it.
No, you don't think. Well, anyway, so oh, there we go. So, what? You said Marty. Marty. You were talking to Marty Winston today.
Yeah, there was it's CE week in the city, and the first person I see as I walk in the door, Marty Winston.
There you go. Well, he's doing he's the editor of the News Tips Bulletin, and he's doing we do 2 News Tip Bulletins on Computer America now every week, so he does 2 of them for us. So.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. So, see, it's a small world. Everybody kind of knows anybody in the tech world.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, Kodak is in the news again. I guess you found not 1, not 2, but 3 video creations from Kodak.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Have you seen one? Have you ever seen one of these ProPix lenses?
No.
They are. So it looks like a zoom lens.
Yeah.
And except instead of snapping it on a camera, it has clips on it, spring-loaded clips, and it clips onto your cell phone.
Whoa!
And then it uses Wi-Fi to connect to your cell phone. And now your cell phone is the viewfinder for this camera. Now there are two ProPix lenses. The one that is out already is a 10-time optical zoom. So now you can fire the shots through this lens using your smartphone. However, since it's not physically connected to your camera or it doesn't require your phone to do anything, it's doing it via Wi-Fi, you could take the lens off.
Oh.
You could hold the lens up in the air, like at a parade or something. You're still holding your phone in your hand as a big viewfinder.
Like the ultimate periscope.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And holding it up in the air, you can fire it from the screen.
That's good.
And the woman said, you don't even need, you would have no way to know exactly what you're taking, but the camera lens, the camera itself, the lens is an entire camera. So you could run around and shoot pictures. It's saving it to an SD card, a micro SD card, or you can set it up that you want it to take pictures and send it to the phone, whichever you like. But it is the most bizarre thing to just take this lens and stick it on a camera, and so suddenly you have a high-tech camera.
So it's not really using the camera lens that's built into your smartphone.
Not at all. No, not at all. It's using its own optical lens.
Because the other models I've seen are still using the camera that kind of clip over the lens.
Oh, yeah, no, this is nothing like this. No, this is a full 10-time optical zoom lens.
Wow.
That one, the list is $229 on that, and coming out in the fall is a 25-time optical zoom.
Whoa!
And that's going to be, I think, $299 suggested retail. I don't know what it, will probably end up having discounts. But what's neat is the two little clips that go onto your phone. They are spring-loaded, so they're not phone-specific. The woman said they fit any of the new 5-inch Galaxies, any of the big 5-inch phones, any of the iPhones, and then the two clips that clip onto your phone fold down into the lens when you want to throw it in your camera bag.
Wow! And again, it's so it works with the iOS and it works with Android. Is what you're saying.
Exactly. Any thing that has Wi-Fi, any phone that has Wi-Fi.
I don't know why my brain was blocking it, but you kept saying optical zoom, which is very different than digital zoom. Great that it's optical zoom, way better than digital.
Oh yeah, digital zoom is almost like a joke. I mean, basically, you can just take the pictures after you've taken them and make them 100 times, move in 100 times. They'll be blurry and boxy as all get out, but no, optical zoom is the way to go, because then if you zoom in with an optical zoom and then in Photoshop you want to zoom in a little more, it's not going to get as blotchy as if you try to do it with the camera in your phone. It's pretty neat.
I think Kodak might actually have a winner here with this one. I really like this option. By the way, both the smart lens cameras can also shoot full 1080p video.
Yes, exactly. So Kodak teamed up with a company called JK Imaging, and so it's sort of interesting to see. I haven't seen a Kodak exhibit in a long time.
Yeah, I know.
So this was neat to see that.
I didn't know they were still around. Boy.
Yeah, they probably weren't until JK Imaging came on the scene.
Right. And that's not the only thing. They also have another thing, the digital action cam.
Yeah, the market is flooded with these, but I can't recall seeing many of them with a built-in viewfinder. Most of them, you wear them on your head or you wear them anywhere, put them on your bike, so you don't frame anything because you kind of just
like the GoPros and
yes, exactly. So this one is kind of neat, waterproof down to 32 feet. shockproof. You can drop it up to 6.5 feet. Well, it also has built-in wireless, so you can again use your camera as a viewfinder if you want. So somebody nearby could be watching you go down the hill to watch the output from your camera. But if you want to just use it sort of as a viewfinder, you can do that, and you can also preview the videos that you shot right on the camera. It's a very small viewfinder. I think it was like 3 inches across. I don't remember exactly. On Amazon, that one is out. On Amazon, that's $173. But it's fairly decent looking.
No, it looks really nice.
Yeah, and 14 megapixel CMOS sensor.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
All right, so now last month you talked about this product called the Grab Pad.
Yes, I don't know if you remember, but
I remember.
Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so I had it sitting on the desk, and I thought, you know what? I could use something like this on my boat. I don't have a car, so I took it down to the boat, and I'm thinking, you know what? Looking at my boat, the dashboard on my boat is totally flat, so it's not going to be such a great test to put it flat. And then I thought, I'm just going to mount it vertically on the bulkhead in front of my steering wheel, and then I'm going to take it out in the Hudson River and bounce it around, which is really a pretty grueling test. Mm-hmm. So down on the boat, I have an old Motorola Droid, mm-hmm. which has the big hump in the back where the camera is, and I thought, you know, it's not fair to mount this and then take it out in the river because it doesn't have a flat back. So I figured for the first test, I'm just going to stick it glass side down up against the Grab Pad and take it out in the river. So I went out in the river, went over wakes. The thing was perfectly still. So I thought, I'm going to flip it around. And also that gave me the chance to see if any gunk come off on the phone, which it didn't. Uh-huh. There you could see a couple of indentations, little marks where the pad had grabbed it, but just ran my finger over that and they were gone. So then I put it with the hump side up against the Grab Pad and ran it over some wakes, and it stayed there. It's just amazing. So I thought, you know what, this is great for if you're an off-roader or your house is on a back road where you hit a lot of bumps. I think this will really hold your stuff in place.
Wow.
So,
well, you certainly gave it the trial by fire.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because boats just bounce along, and they're cheap. They're at Bed Bath & Beyond. They're $8.
Oh, you can get this at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yes, I think when we were talking last time, they weren't available yet.
Yeah, but
I did a web search in Bed Bath & Beyond. They came up $7.99, $5.99 to the company website, but I don't know how much shipping, so it's probably easier just to buy them.
So it's only on the website. They don't have them in the stores.
No, Bed Bath & Beyond. It's on the Bed Bath & Beyond website, so I'm assuming it's in the stores. It's just $2 cheaper on the website, but I don't know what the shipping cost is.
Okay, all right. Well, I plan to go there in the next couple of days. I'll see if they have.
Check it out. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. All right. Now they also have something called the Housewares Holiday Press Event, and you attended that, and evidently you found some interesting gadgets there.
Yeah, there are tons of shows. I'm going to another one tomorrow. There are tons of shows in June and July, mainly because Slick magazines put their big, slick, color buying guides together starting in September. Mm-hmm. So manufacturers want to make sure that everybody sees what they have for Christmas. That's why there were so many shows these couple of weeks. Uh-huh. So at the Houseware show, I saw something from this company called Bedol, B-E-D-O-L, and I don't know if I've done any on Computer America, but they make water-powered clocks. They're just amazing. They have an alarm clock. You pour in a cup of water. The clock starts up. It runs for about 3 or 4 months before you look in it and you see that it's running out of water and you pour in more water. So at the show, they were introducing their first water-powered wristwatch.
Oh my gosh!
So you open the back and you drop in like a half ounce of water and you close it. And the guy said it'll run for a few months. It just does digital time, but if you want a conversation piece to talk about, this is it. And the list price is going to be $16.
No more batteries. Just
there's nothing electric in it.
Plain old tap water.
Plain old tap water. It's coming out in August, so it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and for $16, not going to go wrong.
$16, yeah. It's like the anti-smartwatch.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Really. We're still waiting for those to come out. By the way, have you? You know, I think Apple's going to have a smartwatch finally in October.
Yes.
But what was it? I'm still looking at the Moto 360. It looks like a pretty cool watch. Of all of them, I kind of like the way it looks. Have you seen the Moto 360?
No. Next time round, I just started using the Gear 2.
Yeah.
So,
check out the Moto 360. It's coming out this summer.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a real.
Do you wear a fitness watch?
No. I flushed my watch down the toilet accidentally, and until just recently I got a brand new watch. And I found an old watch of mine which I really like.
Okay. What is that giant string on it? Just in case you flush it down again.
Oh, you see it there? There it is.
Oh, that's very spiffy.
Yeah, it's very spiffy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But now you also.
I like how you asked Craig if he has a fitness watch. Craig doesn't even fitness, so.
Oh, okay, right. No. Well, that's why I asked if he had a string on this one, so when he flushes it down, he can pull it back up.
This one actually has an ultimate safety catch. Even if it opens, it stays on your wrist. So there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you found a number of gadgets that actually help you hang pictures.
Yeah, you know there are a bunch of these, and the woman there was very excited about it because she invented it, and it's kind of fun. What sets it? You know, I said to her, I'm not putting down your product, but there's so many little devices to help you hang pictures straight up and down. I said, give me two things that's different about yours. And she said, okay, most of them have a ruler in it that just goes to 18 inches. So, but if you want to put a line of pictures across the wall, mine goes up to 6 feet. She said mine is the smallest picture hanging device that you can find. It fits into a drawer when you're done with it. Weighs only 6 ounces. And she said mine is under $20, and that includes shipping. So you bring the tape measure out. There's a built-in level, so you level it to where you want it. The very, very end of the tape measure has 2 little teeth that you push up against the wall to make a mark where the painting or picture is going to go. And then you go to the other end of the ruler and you do the same thing if the picture is going to have 2 hooks on it. And then you go back with the hammer and nail, and you can see the 2 little marks that the Hang-O-Matic made. And I thought, for $20, this is not bad.
The Hang-O-Matic, okay.
Hang-O-Matic. Yeah, and if you go to gizwiz.biz and click on the Computer America thing, a lot of the things we're talking about have demo videos either by me or from the company.
Now this next one I looked at, I first thought I was looking at a toaster. But if you're into grilling, evidently you have an indoor electric grill. This is kind of different.
Yeah, this is different. This is from Ronco, and I said to the guy, I said, is this Pocket Fisherman Ronco? And he said, absolutely. So he gave me a little demonstration of it. It's an indoor electric grill, and you are right on. It looks like a toaster that you can put steaks and vegetables in, and their claim to fame is that you'll get a list of stuff that can cook together, like you can put steak and these vegetables all in the grill at the same time, close it up, drop it in, set it for whatever the little timer thing says. The guy said all there is on it is the timer. When you turn the timer to the cooking time needed, the unit comes on. When it goes back and dings, it shuts the unit off. Since it's vertical, and this seems to make a lot of sense, since it's vertical, grease and stuff will go down into a catch pan so that you can cook a little healthier.
This is sort of this is like a competitor to the George Foreman grill.
Yeah, is the George Foreman grill vertical?
Yeah, vertical.
It is vertical?
No, horizontal, but slanted.
Slanted, that's it.
Slanted. Oh, okay. This is
indoor grilling, but this looks like it's a different form factor. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're shooting for a very low price point, under $60. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was worthwhile.
Did you try one or taste the food?
I just tasted some of the veggies.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was. It was. I'm not a big red meat fan. I'm all chicken and veggies.
Okay. All right. Well, then now the next thing is this 20x magnifying glass. This looks kind of interesting.
This is it. This is interesting, and there's a huge problem with it, and I'll tell you what it is. Again, this is one of those, let's search on Amazon. I have some money to spend here. So I thought I would buy the 20 magnification power glasses because, when you're putting on a watch band and you're trying to get that little spring in that little hole. Yeah. So they came, and they're not well built, but I didn't expect much because they were under $5. They have 2 LED lights that let you point the light toward what you're looking at. Mm-hmm. But a couple things happened, and then I went back and read all the reviews on Amazon. First of all, it's impossible to use the lenses together because the magnification is so strong your eyes can't focus on them. So unless you close one eye and look through just one of them, you will have the world's most severe headache. Okay. A lot of people were actually cutting the frame so that they could use it like a 20 magnification loop. With and the LED light works really good. The strange thing is the magnification is so strong, like I took a dollar bill, and by the time it was in focus, it was about a ½ inch from in front of the lens, which brought up something I never had thought about till I read one guy's review. He bought it to repair electronics. You have to be so close to what you want to repair for it to be in focus. There is no possible way you can get a tool in there or a finger in there or your hand in there. So he said it's just great for examining welds, examining splices, but the magnification is too strong to actually do any work with it. So
I recently had to take apart my iPhone.
Oh my gosh, you are brave!
The 20 times magnification, those screws are no joke. They're so small.
Where do you find a screwdriver of that size? I
don't have the kit.
Where are they? I thought there were no screws.
They actually, the screen, I don't have the iPhone with me here either. The screen actually pops out from the metal ring around it, and then the screws are all embedded. Well, actually, there are 2 screws. If you look on the bottom of the iPhone, they look like little holes right next to the charge port. Where you plug in the USB.
Right.
Those 2 little holes are actually screws. They're so small, I didn't even know they were screws either until I got the tool.
The screwdriver must be
tiny.
Yeah.
He got
and did you do it?
Yeah.
And did you fix it? What were you trying to do?
My iPhone got run over by a truck.
Literally.
Yeah, like I went
only do that with the Fugu phone, not the iPhone.
Yeah, no, not the iPhone. Like I went out to look for it, and the truck was parked on top of it. So when he left, I went out and picked it up, and the screen was cracked. So I had to replace the screen.
The phone still worked?
Oh yeah.
Wow. I guess it's so thin that the tire didn't, outside of cracking the screen.
Well, when the guy got out of his truck, he was checking his tires. He said the iPhone hurt his tire.
He said, "Why is my truck so high on one side? I bet you there's an iPhone under the wheel."
But yeah, the 20 times would have helped.
And you successfully replaced your own screen.
Yeah, you did it.
Oh yeah.
I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, some guy wanted to charge him like
fingers ain't easy.
Yeah, boy, you big
$100, and he got the kit was like $60 or something. So there it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be like $300 to send it in, or $60 if you try it at home. So
I want to get this. I want to get this one item. Last, we got enough time for it. This is the. It looks like it's a phone soap charger with no water needed to clean and sanitize your phone.
Yeah, this is clever. You know, ABC did a poll, which is dirtier, the bottom of your shoes, a toilet seat, or I forgot what the third thing was. It turns out that, or your phone, and turns out your phone is the dirtiest thing because everything you touch all day long, then you touch your phone. So every single thing you touch gets transferred to your phone. So this is a UV phone sanitizer. But what's neat about it, there have been these before. I think it was Vado. I forgot the name of the company, but they made one. But what's different about this one is that inside it, there's a 5-volt USB port, so that you can put your phone in it. You can put your phone charge cable in it. It comes with a little micro USB charger, but it doesn't matter because there's a USB port for any charging cable you want. Plug that in and then close it, and two lights come on. A blue light comes on and a green light. When the blue light goes out, the sanitizing of your phone has taken place, and that's short, under 5 minutes. And then the green light comes on, and that can stay on, all night. So what you can do is plug your phone into that charging port, put your phone in there, close it, go to bed, and in the morning you'll have a sanitized, fully charged phone. So it does the 2-in-1. Yeah, it's clever. And the people there said you can put toothbrush heads in there. You can sanitize anything that fits.
Sells for $60. That's really, really cool. What's coming up with you, real quick? We got.
Let's see. The current issue, man, that just came out. I have ways the Pope is reigning in Monsignors when they build their houses. Swimming pool or spa, not both. Waterfalls must contain some holy water.
There you go. Well, Dick, stay with us to the end for our little after the show.
Okay, very good.
In the meantime, again, thanks for being with us here tonight. Again, thanks to Mike Riley in the first hour who did the book Build an Awesome PC for 2014. Check it out. Again, we have the links to that. And Dick DeBartolo will be with us next month in July, actually on the 30th of July. He'll be back as well. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to have Epson on the show. Epson, they're just introducing a brand new line of workforce printers, including something called
90 seconds.
What they're calling precision core technology. Boy, these printers are just getting so wonderfully easy and high tech. So Epson's going to be on with us in the first hour, talking about all the newest, latest printers, their workforce line of printers. And then in hour 2, we're going to have a company called MadeSafe, right? They're going to be talking about why we need a new decentralized internet and what's wrong with the one that's existing now. And also going to be talking about SafeCoin. What's SafeCoin? We know Bitcoin, but we're going to talk about SafeCoin. So that's all coming up on tomorrow night's show. And hopefully you'll be with us here too. Ben will be with us here tomorrow night as well.
I will.
Yeah, and then Charles is going to be with us one more night tomorrow with Michael Miller on Friday. So that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight, and hopefully you'll be back with us tomorrow night as well. Oh, wow. I can't believe this is the first time Dick has got to see me.
Yeah, and it's a lot of years. Right. A technology guru without a camera.
Greg Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow night.
10 seconds.
But did he age gracefully?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right. So
I believe the phrase is like bad cheese.
All right. So again, thanks so much for watching us on our live video streaming. Brought to you by Otherworld Computing. Thank you so much, and Dick, thanks for being with us again as usual. Always some really fun stuff that you bring to the show, and thanks for being.
Thank you. Take a night to both dogs. They
Yes.
both look great.
Yeah, we all told them that we have 5. You saw 2 of them.
Oh my God! Good for you.
Oh wait, 1 second. I can just take.
Okay.
What are we going to see here? We're going to
Oh.
see. That's Landseer. That's Zach. That's Molly. She's Black Newfoundland.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
All right.
very good. I'll see you on July 30th.
Yes, we'll see you on July 30th.
Okay.
And thanks to everybody.